And we are live. It is EuroAsia Scrum. It is Monday the 13th of April. Sam and Thomas in the house. Let's get an old screen share on. I guess I'll just quickly start with me. And I think not much to report on the Agile Ventures side. We had a good client meeting on Thursday. You know, short and sweet. Got good feedback on John and Michael's pull request, which they updated following the client's requests over the weekend. So yeah, I just need to make sure I find time to code review that this week. As usual, I'm going to be the bottleneck. Yeah, we've got, what is it? Actually, Monday today. We've got a proper week. So yeah, AutoGraders client meeting tomorrow. Yeah, big thing. I just need to make sure I get onto the LocalSupport pull requests. How are things with you, Thomas?
I'm fine. I had a relaxing and calm weekend. I visited a sheep farm yesterday, actually, and there were those 3 small lambs that escaped from their mom and were roaming the street. So I picked them up and you know, reconnected them with their families. It was a great experience. Then I got to talk a little bit with the farmer, and
wow,
yeah. So I'm very, you know, interested in farming personally. So I'm going to volunteer there. It's a sort of form of a social enterprise, you know. So I'm going to be there once a month, you know, taking care of animals. It's a great, you know, it's a very relaxing environment to be in, you know, to let go of all the computer-related things and work with close to nature. So it's great, actually. So I'm very excited. Had a wonderful weekend with my family.
Excellent, wonderful.
But apart from that, Agile Ventures related, well, we had a dev meeting on Friday. We spoke a little bit about certain stories and features and made some decisions. That was good. There is, of course, a recording if you want to check it out. There is no need for us to have a client meeting yet, although next week sometime we would need to get together to discuss certain things. But we are trying, we are focusing right now to get rid of the current things that were kind of blocking us. You know, I mean, not potentially blocking like per se, but I want to get everything out of the way, and also focus on the backlog that you and I prioritized on the last client meeting. So, yeah, so there were some pull requests from new members. I'm very pleased about that. Both Alejandro, Raul, and Aaron and Michelle have submitted pull requests. We have done code reviews on most of them and merged stuff in. So that's cool. And yesterday I launched a new project for Agile Ventures, codenamed Take Me Away. It's a small business owner here on campus where I sit. He started a catering business, and yeah, so we're going to develop an application for him that so he can manage takeaway orders. But we will, of course, it's not a charity, but we will, of course, open source everything. And an interesting thing here is that we are planning on developing one backend and an API, and then in Rails, and then do a Sinatra application for perhaps or even, you know, have a look at Ember or some other of the new frameworks to create a front end that talks to the backend app through the API. So it could be a good learning experience. And we also spoke yesterday about using Bourbon as a CSS framework, you know. So we're trying, even it's not a very advanced application in any way, because the domain will be very narrow. It's, you know, it's only clients, orders, menus, and you know, payments. But we will incorporate Stripe, for instance. So there are some interesting areas that could, you know, be a good learning experience for developers and for myself as well, you know. And also the plan is to find a project leader for that project. I have taken the lead on this for now, but we already started to speak to, you know, about designating somebody that can be the Scrum Master and, you know, run the client meetings, etc. So we will have a client meeting at 12 o'clock UTC today with the client and see how we can move forward. So yesterday's meetings was yesterday's meeting was just a kind of a preparation. We just brainstormed something, about the domain, etc., etc. But we need to verify everything with the client today. So, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's it is interesting. I mean it feels like that's quite a departure from previous Agile Venture things. In that, I guess what we've got here. I mean the takeaway that take me away thing sounds very interesting, but so as you said, there's no this is basically a business owner, and so it's a commercial project where people are volunteering for working on it. Is that an accurate summary?
You could absolutely. That's one way to see that. But again, we plan to develop an application that is open source, that it could potentially be used by whoever wants to use it. But work with a client basically. So we still have a
sure.
So but yes, the charity aspect of this project is not there. It's
and it's not even a social enterprise per se. It's just purely a profit-making business.
Well, kind of. He is sponsored by but yes, of course, formally, legally, yes. It's not a social enterprise. But he is a new startup sponsored by the Swedish. Unemployment office, etc. It's a minority thing, but yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I mean it sort of makes me slightly uncomfortable. Previously we'd had sort of a commitment. I mean, in previous discussions, maybe a year or so ago, I think you'd proposed doing some things, like this, and I'd said I thought that probably that they, for the time being, we should have that outside of Agile Ventures. I mean, I think. Yeah, it's. I mean, one of the questions that the Makers Academy is asking me is, as regards the charity jamboree, does it have to be explicitly charities? Should we expand to social enterprises and so on? I mean, I think if we're having this take me away in there, then I think we have to change various things about how we're presenting what Agile Ventures is. I think having it here. One could see it as a sort of a natural evolution of the system generally, but I think it's taking us in quite a different direction.
Okay, I didn't see that this way, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, it's not a commercial project if you define a commercial project by us taking any money for working on it. So in that regard, it is not. But and I can see that this particular application could be used by some potential stakeholders later on that are not commercial, because there are some social enterprises that run catering businesses. But yes, of course, I understand it. But again, there is no money involved in this, and what we spoke about a year ago, if I'm not mistaken,
yes, I think you're right. There was money involved, and of course, as you pointed out at the time, what we did with the I forget the name of what we actually called the project, but the ESAS textbook. What we were doing is where people were getting paid, and I was pushing the envelope there in terms of how central the book from Armando was to what we're doing. Yes. I mean, I guess it neatly sidesteps the issue of. I mean, the big reason to focus on charities in the first instance was to avoid the concern of people squabbling about who gets paid for what and how much work everybody has done, which this also neatly sidesteps. But
yes, because it was very important to me to not involve any money in this.
Right.
So, and even if I put my good name behind the project,
yes,
if it is a good name or not, that's a matter of discussion.
I think it's a reasonable name.
Reasonable name. Yeah. Thank you. Anyways, so but I put it out there in Slack, and I got 5 or 6 people that were interested, and I called to the meeting yesterday, and I had Aaron and Raul in there. So I was just trying to get something started.
Yeah. No, and I mean I think it seems, and particularly if it's popular with the community in some ways, ultimately it needs to be we need to have things in here that the community. I mean, it's sort of by having things like this, it makes us more in the zone of GitHub, in that they will have any open source projects. They don't do any kind of checking of what's the kind of project. But I guess we need to be ready that if we're if we're hosting this project, then we need to be able to. We can't sort of. I think in terms of what we how we present ourselves to charities and non-profits, then it sort of maybe changes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
I know what you're saying. I know. Although, Sam, just to be clear, because we had this. We've had several projects without clients, for instance. That didn't take off later on because, some Yaro's project.
We've had all sorts of projects that haven't taken off clients and not. But yes, go on.
Yeah. So I was, and I mean, this one is interesting in the. By having a non-technical
client, yes,
client,
yeah.
And also if he only came to me and said, I want a static website or just a do this and that for us, and I would say that then we would charge money for it, but or just say no, basically, because it wouldn't fit in the framework of Agile Ventures. Yeah. This is I would say that since I had an idea and have an idea about using some technologies that some of the developers have never used before, so it's very important for me that this is a learning project, so we just don't repeat everything that we've already done, but we do something that is new to us, and that we have this client, and he's at least initially committed to work with us in the Scrum, in the Agile way, so with client meetings.
Yeah, and he's committed to open development as well. So
he's committed to open development. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes. No. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that the whole. I mean, the absolute key to all of this in some ways is having clients who are engaged and non-technical, and that's something that's definitely been missing in some projects. So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at how we're positioning ourselves as we present ourselves to. To non-profits. I mean, as it stands, we've got lots of non-profits and charities wanting to be involved and not enough developers. So, the fact that the possibility that some non-profits might say, well, hey, aren't you doing some stuff here for commercial things? I mean, is not necessarily a big difference, really. I mean, I at least immediately, it's not going to impact us negatively. But I just like, given that it is a departure from what we've done in the past, it does sound like an exciting and interesting project. I'm just, thinking about how this, changes our relationship with the rest of the world.
I got you. I also feel that, perhaps on a side note, the Jamboree format is extremely interesting, and this, I want to host similar events here in Sweden sometime, or given that there are people, the organizations that needs our support here as well. But the thing is that I feel that we need to. One of my goals with this project is to get somebody to step in as a project leader or technical leader, and work with customers. So we can, so there are more people dedicated to projects than just you and I.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't want to talk down on anything, but the Osra project is not using Scrum anymore. Since Pavel left, they are doing things. I mean, they admit that they don't follow the Scrum format on the meetings and stuff. So I want to be like, I don't know, call it a mentor, or just walk beside the project leader for a month or something. I mean, this is a very short development. We're talking about 3 or 4 sprints basically.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna drop this project because and move to something else. And if the client wants to further develop it, he can find some other developers to work on it. Yes. But I want to walk beside the project lead and make him see the benefits of using Scrum, for instance, and the Agile approach to when he manages this project, so we can so he can then move on to some other projects later on. Because we do have a lack of developers, but we also have a bigger lack of project managers.
Indeed.
Because I mean, all the good people that come over to your jamborees, these could be picked up by motivated project managers.
They could indeed.
And I say that the key to success in actually launching a project in Agile Venture is to have somebody that is dedicated to lead the project.
I agree.
More than actually finding developers, because when there is a person that leads the project, and the developers.
No disagreement from me there. No, absolutely.
So this is that's what I want to use this project for, just to lift somebody up, etc. Yeah. But I understand your point that it is a sidestep from our previous strategy. Although since we're not taking any money or
well, that's I mean, it's an interesting thing. I mean, maybe that it opens us that we should present that. We should say that we're happy to take commercial projects as long as there's no money changing hands and there is a commitment to open development.
Yeah.
Which opens up some interesting possibilities.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I better get on with the rest of the day. Interesting development. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I have a lot of. If you run into Jordan, I have a lot of stuff prepared for the Swedish Makers Academy. I've worked on that Thursday and Friday, and so I'm pretty excited about that. There's a lot of good news on that front.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'll maybe catch you at the Atlantic Scrum, Thomas.
All right. Take it easy, brother.
Bye.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.